This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple stores may lift some mask mandates, App Store and iPhone news, and lots of new stuff for Apple TV Plus. It is Friday, the 5th of November, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Nebbia, makers of the Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower. Get 10% off all Nebbia products with code MacOSKen at nebbia.com/MacOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Notion, one workspace for your startup. We've talked all week about how Notion can help your startup, putting processes, note-taking, project management, and more into one place. Lots of businesses and startups have already put Notion to work for them, and their work can work for you. Notion has a worldwide network of millions of users creating templates, tutorials, and new inspiration. And they're sharing, which might make what you're doing even better. For startups, Notion can provide a full-on operating system for running every aspect of your company, keeping everyone aligned as you grow fast and take on more. Interested? Want to find out more? Notion is running a special offer just for startups. Get up to $1,000 off Notion's team plan by going to notion.com/startups. To give you a sense, that is almost a year of free Notion for a team of 10. Again, that's notion.com/startups to receive up to $1,000 in free credit to use Notion with your team. That's up to a $1,000 value when you go to notion.com/startups. A possible swerve back toward the before times. Word on the street has Apple stores dropping the mask mandate for customers in 7 states starting today. Engadget highlights a Bloomberg report that says over 100 of Apple's U.S. stores in Arizona, California, Connecticut, Florida, Louisiana, New Jersey, and New York will be mask-free. That's only for customers, though. The piece says retail staff will still have to wear masks due to longer interactions and closer contact. Assuming the report is accurate, lifting mask mandates will be store by store, not state by state. For example, while some stores in California will reportedly go maskless, stores in LA and the Bay Area will have to stay masked up due to local regulation. Sounds like folks shouldn't be surprised if masks are still required for a couple of reasons. The first is that local regulation thing. The second, there's been no confirmation of this change. The Bloomberg story is based on an internal memo that it says it's seen. Apple declined to comment for the report. It looks to Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani as if growth for the App Store slowed last month, and he is not worried about it. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote. According to that, revenue for the App Store grew 16% last month versus the same month a year ago. That is a slight slowdown from the 19% revenue growth clocked by the store last quarter. While one might be tempted to think things are going poorly, the real problem in Daryanani's estimation is how well things were going for the App Store this time last year. Remember those tough compares analysts kept talking about? We have arrived. According to his note, the growth slowdown is not surprising and will likely continue for the next 2 months as we face some very difficult comparisons from December of last year. Apple guided to a slowdown in the services business after reporting 26% growth in the September quarter, so the slowdown in App Store will likely not come as a surprise. He wraps his note on the App Store saying revenue growth slowed and will likely continue to slow throughout the quarter, but this appears to be well understood by Apple and Wall Street. Darianani has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $180. iPhone 13 may be set for a super quarter across Europe. Mac Daily News has run a report from Counterpoint Research that shows a surge for iPhone sales in the region toward the end of last quarter, coinciding with the release of the latest iPhone line. According to Counterpoint, iPhone commanded 22% of smartphone sales in Europe last quarter. That represented year-on-year growth of 24%, though this time we are looking at an easier comparison. Apple got a week or two of iPhone 13 sales out of the September quarter this year. Last year's iPhone 12 line didn't hit until the December quarter. Still, by Counterpoint's reckoning, iPhone's share of sales in Europe jumped from about 19% at the end of August to 27% at the end of September. Assuming it can keep up with demand, the firm says Apple may well be in for a record-breaking fourth quarter in Europe. A bit of a shake-up for Apple in South Korea. 9to5Mac cites a Bloomberg report that says Apple's top executive for South Korea is leaving. This as the company faces ongoing antitrust concerns in the country. According to the report, Brandon Yoon joined Apple just 3 years ago, serving as the company's general manager and head of sales for South Korea. He had previously spent time at both Microsoft and Samsung. More recently, Yoon also served as the so-called point person in the antitrust case in South Korea. What should one make of his departure? Correlation does not imply causation, apparently. He's simply said to be leaving for a different job in the U.S. While the timing of the departure is certainly interesting, the piece has Bloomberg saying that Yoon's departure isn't related to the legal fight. Doesn't mean it won't impact Apple's South Korean situation, though. If you go to the Apple ID website, don't freak out. You haven't been hijacked. You didn't type anything wrong. Unless you did. Probably you didn't, though. Apple has actually changed the site's look. Mac Rumors writes up the change, saying the Apple ID landing page has been updated with a new dot and Apple logo design, along with information on what the Apple ID website can be used for. The prior design was graphics heavy, featuring a large banner with people using various Apple devices. The dot and Apple thing is just a landing page. Once logged in, info tied to the Apple ID is presented in what Mac Rumors calls a card-style view. The piece says the card view offers information at a glance like your Apple ID, your notification email, whether you have two-factor authentication enabled, and the last time that your password was updated. Clicking through the navigation options brings up more info like your name, birthday, reachable email addresses, device list, payment options, and more. I would love to be able to compare and contrast the old site versus the new one for you, but except for the landing page, I already can't remember what the old site looked like. Go me! Mac Rumors gives the change a thumbs up, though, saying the new site is simple, responsive, and easy to navigate, and that it is quicker than the prior site. More news in a moment, but first a word from Nebbia, makers of the Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower. I've told you all week how much I love my Nebbia, how it surrounds me with warmth like a spa would, how great the magnetically mounted wand is, how its spray is 81% more powerful than the competition, despite using 45% less water. I need to tell you how easy this thing is to install. Super. It is super easy to install. Took me less than an hour to replace my old, who knows how long it was there, shower head with my Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower. The illustrations and instructions were very easy to follow, and the only thing I needed was a wrench to loosen my old shower head. Everything else was in the box. I would say it was worth the trouble, but I seriously had no trouble at all. The Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower starts at just $199, and for macOS Ken listeners, we have a deal for you. Go to nebbia.com/macOSKen and use code macOSKen at checkout to get 10% off all Nebbia products. Even better, Nebbia is offering free shipping in the US on their newest shower, Nebbia by Moen Quattro, for just a few more days. Nebbia rarely does deals like this, so this is a great deal to jump on. Again, go to nebbia.com/macOSKen. That's Nebia, nebbia.com/macOSKen to check out what they have to offer and save 10% with the code macOSKen. We'll wrap the day with a bit of news around Apple TV Plus, starting with a new hire. The head of drama for 20th Television is headed to Apple's streaming service. Deadline says Erin May, VP Drama Development at Disney-owned 20th, is hanging up her mouse ears and heading to Cupertino. Actually, she's heading to Apple TV Plus offices in Culver City, which is probably not far from where she worked already. Quoting Deadline, citing the goal of creating a safe space for writers to tell stories that are provocative and underrepresented in television as a guiding principle during her tenure, she oversaw the creative development, production, and staffing of such series as Washington Black, Our Kind of People, Dope Sick, Swiss Family Robinson, and Shots Fired. May joins Apple TV Plus as a senior creative executive, reporting to Apple's head of scripted television, Matt Chernis. Apple's announced another docuseries. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Thursday announcing a show chronicling the life and career of basketball great Earvin Magic Johnson. According to the release, the 4-part docuseries will explore the remarkable accomplishments and global impact of Johnson's life both on and off the court, from his humble beginnings in Lansing, Michigan, to becoming a 5-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. He changed the conversation around HIV and transcended into a community activist and successful entrepreneur. No word in the release on when the series will hit. Apple has released a trailer for another science fiction property. Not necessarily uplifting, but at least the galaxy isn't ending, or even the world. iDownload blog has word of the trailer for Swan Song, set in the near future, says Apple's description. Swan Song is a powerful emotional journey told through the eyes of Cameron, played by Mahershala Ali, a loving husband and father diagnosed with a terminal illness, who is presented with an alternative solution by his doctor, played by Glenn Close, to shield his family from grief. As Cam grapples with whether or not to alter his family's fate, he learns more about life and love than he ever imagined. Swan Song explores how far we will go and how much we're willing to sacrifice to make a happier life for the people we love. Naomi Harris, Adam Beach, and Awkwafina also star. Sure to spur a conversation or two, Swan Song hits Apple TV Plus on Friday, the 17th of December. If you want to see what you're in for, you can catch the trailer now on YouTube. Hey, does anybody know when the Oprah conversation airs? I mean, does it have a regular schedule, or is it just when Oprah finds somebody to talk to? Well, whatever the case, it's happening again today. iMore ran a piece Thursday saying the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith, will join Oprah to talk about... Hey, does anybody know what the Oprah conversation is about? I'm kidding. In the latest episode, Oprah and Smith take a deep dive into his new memoir, in which Smith shares his candid thoughts on unspoken family stories, life-defining moments, self-destruction, the subtle sickness of material success, moments of courage, the wisdom of a child, and the power of laughter. To kill. Probably not really to kill. The Oprah Conversation with Will Smith is up now on Apple TV Plus, along with a lot of other new stuff. As was mentioned here yesterday, the South Korean sci-fi drama Dr. Brain hit on Thursday. 3 shows of note hit today, 4 if you count The Fresh Prince and Oprah. As for the rest, Hello Jack, The Kindness Show kicks off today with 7 episodes. You know, for kids. The 3rd and final season of Dickinson has hit Apple TV Plus with its first 3 episodes. And finally, Finch, starring Tom Hanks, his dog, and their robot, is available now on Apple TV Plus. Coming up in a few minutes, an inventor, and an inventor each receive invitations to dinner from Brian Chaffin, editor-in-chief of the Mac Observer. Find out who's invited to Brian Chaffin's dinner party in a few minutes. Look for that show and listen wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your startup. Get up to $1,000 off at notion.com/startups. This show is also sponsored by Nebbia. Get 10% off all Nebbia products with code MacOSKen at nebbia.com/MacOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.